this is a Dark Star. The Dark Stars are like Green Lanterns in the DC Comics universe. They were an alternate intergalactic corp created by the Controllers. The Controllers were an offshoot of the Guardians from the Green Lantern Corp that wanted to protect the world differently and were more hands-on and more controlling, hence the name the Controllers. So the Dark Stars were powered with an exosuit that allowed them to create shields, fly super fast in space, and obviously shoot energy, and they were a bit stronger. One of the original Dark Stars that came to Earth in the 1992 series that introduced them was Ferrin Kolos. I wanted to get a Ferrin Kolos action figure. There was a variant of this Dark Star with the Ferrin Kolos head as well as a John Stewart head, because John Stewart was a member of the Dark Star at one point. I didn't want to chase that, so I decided I was going to customize this guy into something else. And while I'm at it, I'll just update you guys on some of the kit bashing and customizing I've been doing with my DC Multiverse action figures. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin. Feel you in since 2002. Like and subscribe. So the Dark Star exoskeleton armor is based on a cyborg body, an early cyborg body, which is why you've got like the organic and metal shape around him, right? The articulation on this figure are excellent. Very good. You can do things with him that I haven't been able to do with other DC Multiverse action figure. He's really dynamic, as you can see. You can make him look like he's flying. I'll probably put him on a flight stand and have him do things. If I can find some energy effects that are compatible, something like this, maybe. I'll probably also give him those energy effects. This, not easy. Give him energy effects, I guess. Yeah, something like this. He didn't come with any, and maybe he should, but maybe not. We have so many of these things around. Spare parts from McFarlane Figures and other companies that we may not have to get extra stuff from them sometimes. Everything we need is already there. Perfect. So now I've got a Dark Star ready to shoot, ready to fight. So what I really want is a Ferrin Kolos action figure. He's a main Dark Star. The other variant has a red suit with very little silver, and it doesn't highlight the sculpting as well. So I think this one is better, but it just needs a variant. It also comes with an extra head, and you can see that John Stewart's is behind this. So that's a battle damage helmet, and it's very difficult to put the helmet on. As you can see, it's very tight. Okay, there it is. So you can do this. Now, in the comics that I used to read back in the 90s, he didn't have that helmet on. I guess there were generic troopers in the background, but most of them had individual heads. And Colin Ferris, or Ferrin Kolos I should call him, had a distinctive pinkish kind of head and no ear. Well, it might be difficult to find a figure without ears that's bald and pink, but there's ways around. So one of the things I decided to do is that I use one of the Lex Luthor heads from the Superman movie, this on a pole so it's easier to see, and I painted him pinkish. Now, Ferrin Kolos' eyes were kind of whitish, but I didn't want to erase them. This would have been the perfect head, except for one fact: the head is way too small for the body. As you can see, he looks kind of silly. If the body was smaller, it would have worked better. Although you could say that maybe he's an alien, and as an alien, he's got a long neck or something like that. But it doesn't fit with the body. I probably should have checked the body and the proportion before I painted the figure, but it doesn't matter. The Lex Luthor set came with three different heads. Three different heads. So it doesn't matter. I guess I wouldn't say I wasted this head. I figured I can even turn the third head into a green Martian Manhunter head if I wanted him to look like the classic Martian Manhunter look, like a very Silver Age look. So as you can see, this head won't fit. I mean, the ball peg does fit, but unless you say that he's some kind of alien with a very long neck, he's gonna look kind of silly. So my alternative then, which is not perfect, but it is a pinkish head, kind of balding, is to use the Monitor head that came with the Build-A-Figure set from a few years back. So there's a Crisis on the Infinite Earth set. It's very difficult to put this head on, by the way. Just stop that and put the head on. Alright, so I did put the head on. So this is the Monitor head. Maybe I should Dremel the beard, but for now, this will do. So he does look alien, and he's got the right color, skin color for Ferrin Kolos, but the head is bigger. So it's a better fit in that sense. So this is how he would look. You probably have a lot of those parts lying around also. Can he stand properly? Yeah, okay. But I find it's a better fit. Now I'll just put some energy back on him. This figure came out in the beginning of 2026, I believe. And let me just get a flight action figure stand and see what I can do with him. Like I said, he pauses really well. This is a McFarlane stand, so technically it should be perfect for him. And here's your flying Darkstar here in Kolos. He also came with 2 extra hands, another fist and a grabbing hand. You want to give him a weapon, but he is the weapon. His exoskeleton is the weapon, so doesn't really need extra weapons. Like I said, I'll use this head somewhere else. And now I'm gonna focus on some of my other recent customs. He's gonna fall over. Okay, I'll just remove him from the stand. Put him aside so he doesn't fall all over and disturb the other guys. By the way, his back looks okay too. Doesn't have as many detail, but he looks okay. I think the monitor never looked as good. I may have been wrong. I think he was released in 2025. It's just that it took me a while to get him out of his package. And as you can see, he's very tall in terms of even DC Multiverse. Just pause him regularly in a generic pause like that because he seems to want to fall all the time. Part of it is this structure here who's not completely flat. It's kind of bending, so putting action figures there is always like a struggle balancing figures. And he's very top heavy, so he falls over easily. This is just a quick update on my Johnny Thunder. So I changed his hands. He had the Riddler's, well, green hands, and I gave him some regular skin tone hands. There's a lot of them from DC Multiverse. I don't even know which characters' hands these are. And I painted his face a bit, attempting to try painting figures now. I'm using acrylic markers here. I don't know if you can see, good, to make him a bit lively. So Johnny Thunder is just this bumbling fool with a genie called Thunderbolt, who can grant him any wish he wants. He's an original member of the Justice Society, but he just stumbled upon the first meeting of the Justice Society, so he wasn't fully a member, but he was there at the first meeting, but he was a comic relief. So technically he is a Justice Society member. No secret identity, just some dude with a genie granting him any kind of wish. But because he's too dumb, he doesn't know how to use the genie to the full extent, and he doesn't have any limit in terms of the number of wishes he can get. My other update is the Johnny Quick, the Golden Age Johnny Quick action figure, which I've been working on. There's another video on this guy. I'm happy with the work that I've begun here. So I'm using a mix of the Flash Barry Allen figure. One of them broke, so I reused the top here. So I still haven't removed the logo. I will. And the legs are from Professor Zoom figure. Again, like I mentioned before in the other video, I would need to change the diapers, the trunks, the shorts here, because they're red. And the head is from a Kid Flash action figure. There's a lot of those Kid Flash around. He came with the Crisis Wave. Now, Johnny Quick is one of the first hero to have a mask and exposed hair. So the cut here. He's the original guy who had this look before Wally West Kid Flash. So the Wally West head is yellow, just like his body, but the body is a regular superhero body they've been using for all the Flashes. So it just fits. And he's a bit more brownish, reddish. So I painted the hair a bit, but I didn't paint it fully. I wanted to keep some of the brownish highlights visible. But the mask, the face mask, is black. So that I painted over, and it's on the way of creating the best Johnny Quick look. I don't believe McFarlane will release a Johnny Quick. I wish they would. He's not getting many action figures usually. He doesn't get some. I don't believe he had one in DC Direct, and for Mattel, I wasn't collecting at the time. I don't believe there was a Mattel either. There might have been. I don't think so. So he doesn't get much love in action figure usually. Yeah, I believe there was a Hero Click, but not a Marvel, not a Mattel figure, and definitely not a DC Direct figure of this guy, unfortunately. There's the other Johnny Quick, the one from the Crime Syndicate. He gets action figures all the time. But this guy, the original Johnny Quick, the Golden Age guy, the super speedster who could fly, he doesn't get figures often. But a basic Flash body will do, a kit bash of many Flash bodies. So Professor Zoom, Barry Allen, and Wally West, a bit of paint. He doesn't have the same logo, Flash logo, so I'll have to clean that up. And if I can, well, try a water slide or something else to give him his distinct logo, which is like a pair of wings. And I'm trying to look for something for the gloves. He's got yellow gloves, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this exactly. I could just paint them and just give him yellow hands. That I could do also, but I'll figure it out. But I like the way the head came out. I didn't remove the ears. In the comic, you can see his exposed ears, but it's okay if I'm giving him some Quick Flash head gear and so on. So this is my update on Johnny Quick. There's another video where I explain explain this recipe in more detail. This is Johnny Thunder, and obviously this is my rendition of Ferin Kolos, the Darkstar. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, fill you in since 2002. Like and subscribe.